All right, now let's do the kick. We're gonna do basically the same thing. This kick, right? I'll go kick. Let's go 1, 2, 3, and just see what we can't do here. Let's grab Serum again. And here we go. So our snare was E, our kick is going to be E. Just going to keep things consistent, keep things easy. Let's use a sine wave here. I've been using this analog BD sine for kick drums. I don't know what BD stands for. I hope it's bass drum, because I'm making a bass drum, and I like bass drums. So, for my wishful thinking, it now stands for bass drum. Right, so we're going to do the same thing. Envelope, turn BPM mode off, free rate LFO1. Right, and we're going to start with that little click, right? So something important to keep in mind, if we hit Shift, Option, and left click on the coarse pitch, when we check the depth, right, you can see that the depth of the coarse pitch is 19. That's that little blue 19, right? So where it says LFO1, A, coarse pitch, 19. 19 in Serum is an octave, right? We're going to go 3 octaves. Hey Siri, what's 19 times 3?
19 times
57.
3 is 57.
Maybe not that high. Ooh. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good there. Okay, so LFO2, we're going to use this as our body, right? And envelope BPM mode. So depending on how fast we have this rate knob right here, that'll actually change the amount of kind of body after the kick drum, right? So you'll notice that when I speed it up, it gets really, really tight. That's super clicky. And here we have kind of that transient, right? Where we have the like, oof, that kick, and then the bass that follows after. So what we're looking for is somewhere that kind of has a little bit of a subby tail. Something like that. Cool. All right, so now we're going to use LFO3. Again, envelope mode, turn the BPM off. Right? And we're going to set this to the noise oscillator level, not hit direct out. And I'm going to go to the attacks kick, but that's wrong. It's the why do I try anything? Attacks kick, not a kick tats. Speaking of a kick tats, I got a new tattoo. I'm fucking stoked. Shout out my boy JP. Right? So let's find this transient, right? So XF kick attack. That could work. So I want to listen to these and audition them on their own. That could work. I'm looking for something really like high and clicky, right? All right, so let's grab this EQ again, right? And we're going to just start doing the whole damn thing, right? So let's get rid of 500 hertz to start. I'm gonna boost a little bit of that attack right there, right? You can hear. That's kind of the beater. We don't really need too much of anything up here. Some people really like clicky kicks. I do. Not everybody does. Let's also find, so we're using an E, right? So I'm going to go down to the D sharp, which is technically an E flat. And I'm going to find my E here. I'm going to just bump that up a little bit, right? Turn that like that. Okay, cool. Now we're actually getting pretty close. So we're using like 40 hertz, right? 41 hertz. So that would be 82 hertz, and that would be 164. So let's try, and instead of doing the 164 hertz, we can emphasize the 82 hertz here, and we'll use LFO2 to do that, right? So I'm gonna bring this down to 82. And you'll notice that right off the bat, this is too much. Right. And if we use the multi-band, it's probably just going to be too much. I like that. I didn't think I would, but I kind of like that. Let's see if we speed this up. I wonder where that noise is coming from. Right, maybe we don't use the multi-band. We won't use the multi-band. Okay, there we go. Right, so we'll use a glue compressor. Start. Whoops. Let's bring the gain down a little bit. We'll bring the gain of the EQ down -5. Now I'm going to start getting this thing to get real smacky-like. Right, maybe turn this down to start. And then let's turn this to medium curve. And let's add a little bit of erosion. So personally, I like a lot of like kind of fuzziness in the kick drum, like kind of up top. I end up adding that a lot anyway. This is a little bit overkill. But like kind of right there is not. That's going to help it kind of sit up on top a little bit better. So let's use another EQ. And this is really where the click is going to come from, right? This is the beater attacking. Right, so maybe let's try this. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to bring this gain down so I can really shape the tone without worrying about blowing out the EQ. Might be just a little bit too bassy, but that's okay. It's again, it's always good to have too much rather than too little. Right, okay, and then from here. What's that? Another glue compressor? Try again, right? Maybe let's see what happens if we just bring this down. Kind of smash a little bit of the transient into the kick drum. And this doesn't need to be as... Whoops, not the frequency, we want the gain. Okay, cool. So now we'll find that. And instead of using a gazillion different channels, I lied. I'm not going to do that. Let's use an audio channel here. Let's use 2 audio channels. I'll go in from channel 11 serum into channel 12 audio, right? And we'll 2, 3, 4. Fine. Delete all that. So you can see that we have an attack here and kind of this like little break. Whoops. This little break right here. And then all of a sudden we have all this bass. This might mean that I need to redo some of that bottom end. Because right now it feels like the bottom end gets kind of out of control by comparison. So let's do this. Let's delete the sample. We'll go in here. Do that, and then we'll also speed it up just a little bit. Right? Do the same thing. That's better. Cool. All right, so now what we're gonna do, let's look at this kick drum, and we're gonna tame some of this low end. Let's get rid of this glue compressor to start. This is a little bit too much. Okay, and we could use the glue compressor and the saturator. Stop sign. Let's use a FabFilter multiband just to kind of tame a little bit of that click. Let's use an EQ. Use the FabFilter Pro L, right? Scoop some of the mids again. We can scoop some of this top end out as well. Okay, cool. And then we'll do the same thing here, where instead of going to resampling, we'll just use channel 12 audio. And then we'll delete these. Then we will record. I wish. Hold up. Let's try something. Let's try freezing this. Flattening happens. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't really fuck with that. Hang on. Freeze. Okay, hold up. Timeout, pause. Huh. Okay, well. There we go. Freeze this again. And option click drag down. I still don't really love the way that that's hitting. I kind of wish that this, like, check this out. Maybe we try this. Let's try this. Doop, doop, shoot. Now I'm just playing, but what we could do here, right, is Command J. Right, and then we can add, oops, let's add an EQ. And really, you could just chop where necessary from here. Kind of seems like these mids are a little bit hot. If you want a little bit more bottom end, you can do that down here. And then you could add like just a limiter, really. Freeze, flatten, boom. And there's your kick. So, what we got right now is a snare and a kick, right? So, go. So over to measure 11, kick, snare. Kick, snare, come on. That. And then we'll move the kick out.